Oh, hi! Welcome to Sewing Your Studios. I am Joe. I'm gonna try filming this one on my phone because I forgot my camera and the video quality seems okay on this. So I'm off to do my first market in Boston. It's just outside Boston, so not Boston proper, but pretty dang close. It's called the Brighton Bazaar. It's at the Charles River Speedway, which is the river that goes through Boston. Let's see how this goes. I'm nervous. It's also a Wednesday and it goes from 5 to 10, so I'm not going to get home till like midnight, but let the chaos begin. Okay, I'm set up and the space is massive. Okay, the event was a dud and it was so long and it's such a long drive, so I'm bummed, but let me show you something. I don't know how well you can see him, but there's this little bunny, just a little baby guy. I don't want to, yeah! I didn't want to scare him into the road. Oh! Okay, I have you at a weird angle because I don't have a good place to hoist you up. And there's a couple that, I don't know if they're fighting or they're just like making sure I got into my car okay. Either way, I appreciate that they've been here for every trip I've taken to load up my car, but it's 11 o'clock. It's gonna take an hour to get home. And then it will be midnight. I think I made a little over $150 and it was like 108 for the table. It's an hour each way, so that's probably 20 bucks in gas each way. That's rounding up. But still, like, it's another one to take on the chin. And I was in a weird spot, so I don't blame it on like the market itself. The weather was gorgeous. And a lot of people were saying it was just kind of a funky night, where the first couple weeks of August is when like everybody goes on vacation, and back to school started today for a lot of places, I think. So I don't know, there's always a reason, but I'm tired, but we're getting into my busier and better season coming up, so I'm not giving up. And at least I didn't lose any money on this, but obviously like the time I threw in and all of that, like, y'all, when I tell you it is because of everybody over on Patreon that I am able to keep doing this. Like, this is what I mean. So thank you all for being here. Before I get weepy, I'm gonna go. But that bunny made me really happy because every single time I walked by, I think I had 4 trips back and forth to the car, and whether I had a bunch of shit and I was walking with it, or including walking with my pack out pile, or just walking back from my car to the place, he was just so teeny tiny. I love little bunnies, and it takes such a little thing for me to cheer up. So that is nice. But I have a banana and I have a Gatorade, and I also have some like pistachios and stuff if I need a snack. But oh, the other thing, my table neighbor on one side found out, like, while the market was happening, that she was losing her living situation at the end of the month. So I also spent some time messaging anybody I knew in the Boston area if they had any leads, because especially leading into the school year, like it's a college town, so I just put feelers out there to try to reach it because she's having a really hard time, and it sucks. And like if there's even the slightest chance I could help with something like that, I'm more than happy to reach out. And she came over to me and was like choking up. It was just like, thank you for being so kind. It was like, I I don't feel like I actually did anything. I just offered to like help her load out because she was leaving early, and like I don't blame her. She's like, you're not gonna be upset with me? I was like, of course not. Like the market's dying down. She didn't leave that early either. Yeah, she was really sweet. So I will hopefully hear from somebody, at least like know where to look, I suppose. But I can't imagine that. I mean, I've been there. I've been there where you're like, I need to find a place by the end of the month. So it's crummy and everything's so expensive. I can only imagine what the prices are in Boston and like the actual suburbs. I will call a friend. I'll phone a friend if I feel like I'm getting sleepy, because that was something that used to happen a lot. I haven't had to do a solo late drive, I don't think, since I've started my medication. So I wonder if I will feel as tired. Like I'm tired, but I'm not like dozing off. So I'm curious what the ride home will be like. But I got to get out of Boston first and then onto the highway. So pray for me. I wasn't at all excited about having to deal with Sturo Drive, where if you've been to Boston, you know. I mean, there are lots of spots in Boston that suck, but having to get off at Sturo Drive and then go into that little mini tunnel, the way that not a single person in the right lane gets over ahead of time and then just is gunning for either where you are in your lane or a barrier. So it's always very stressful. And then they get mad at you. We're like, I get not knowing what lane you have to be in. I try to check that stuff so far in advance. Like I'll follow the route ahead of time to look for that type of thing. Is like, do I need to get over at this point? Do you mean left or straight left, you know? But okay, I'm gonna have my nanner and my Gatorade, and I will check in. I don't know that this is gonna be like it for the video. Maybe I'll give a recap tomorrow. I don't know. I didn't sell any of my big bags. I didn't sell any slings. I didn't sell any saddlebags. I sold a dumpling pouch. It was mostly keychain bags, and it's so weird how it comes in batches like that, because there are events where I don't sell a single keychain bag. I don't think I sold any at my last market. I don't understand. A lot of dog bags sold where I didn't even have that many. But I wonder if there is something to the like decision fatigue element of like only having a few. Because when I've had less than 10 saddlebag designs out, I have sold more than when I've had like 15 to 20. I have so many designs, but I don't think I should be putting all of them out at the same time anymore. So I don't know. And then if someone's interested in a certain kind, I can be like, oh, I have more back here if you want to look. I did sell a bunch of mystery totes. I tested it out by putting that pirate chest together. Actually, it's right here. This guy, I had a couple of the like dollar store t-shirt boxes, or like shirt gift boxes. I had tote bags that I've been trying to move. I just don't want to keep making those bags. So having them out on my display, like I don't want to encourage people to ask about those or like commission one. Not that it's the end of the world to make one, but like I'm over them. So, oh, okay. I'm gonna go drive home now, but I can give a rundown. Maybe I'll mix this in with my next event, but that's not till the following weekend. All right, I'm gonna go fuck off. Bye. LOL. Hi, good morning. It's me. Oh, this is definitely sideways. Okay, let's try this again. I did make it home. I did make it home. It was just after midnight, and I sure can confirm that I wasn't sleepy on the ride home, because a few minutes into the drive, I almost got in a absolutely horrific car wreck because someone going a different direction
decided to pop on through a gap in a guardrail at like 40, 50 miles an hour and just come right at my car at like 45-degree angle. Thankfully, I was fully paying attention, both hands on the wheel, everything, just had music playing. And then there was a car in the lane next to me, like a big truck. And they also had a good reaction time and were paying attention and not on their phone or anything. And I have never in my life laid on a horn like that. That that was so stressful. And I kept on the horn. I wasn't driving up the guy's ass or anything like that. Like I wasn't being unsafe, but the only time I'm going to honk or use my horn is if you are endangering other people. And if I had been like an inch off, like I thought for sure we were going to get into a wreck, and between that car and the one next to me, if anything else had gone differently, I would have been sandwiched between the two of them. And like we weren't on a city street, we were on like a secondary highway. So I am thanking all of my lucky stars that it was fine and that everybody was okay. I hope that person got safely to wherever they desperately needed to go and were more important than everybody. But I laid on my horn longer than I ever have in my life, to the point that that guy moved over a couple lanes, even though we were heading the same direction. So I'm allowed to be a bitch about it. You almost wrecked my shit. And honestly, the thing I was most relieved about, other than like, oh, cool, I don't have to not have a car now. Oh, cool, I don't have to like be injured in some capacity. I was so relieved that it wasn't delaying me getting into bed. I I was like, I swear to God, if you make me late getting home, I just want to go to sleep. I don't want to be in Boston any longer than I have to. So everything's fine. My brakes were doing something a little weird after, but it felt like when you're sliding on the ice and you're trying to brake and they're like doing whatever that thing is that they do. Uh, so I'll just have my partner give them a once over. But like I got the rest of the way home fine, so I don't think there's any kind of standing damage. But that was quite a way to end my evening. But again, safe, home, intact. I have to go run some errands today. And oh, heads up, if any of you use Square, I apparently have my like end of day marked as 7 p.m. And because the market went from 5 to 10 last night, I made a couple of transactions after 7. And I didn't realize I had that set at any particular time. And when I've done night events before, it's been on a Friday, which that doesn't deposit until Monday anyways, I don't think. So I only got part of my Square total last night. So there's like $30 in my account that got transferred. But I was in a panic and was like, it clearly says on my summary from the day that I earned this much, but why did Square only transfer 30 something dollars? And so I called as soon as they opened this morning, because I was like, I don't want to have to deal with this. And I barely made costs back, barely. So I don't want to have to not get that amount back. And I heard about this thing happening in California. I think San Dimas, there was some event. And there's, for those of you that do in-person markets, there's some thing that if someone taps to pay, I believe with their phone, then there was some way to trick it so that it went through as like a cash transaction, but they didn't give cash. They were using tap payment. So like the person thought that they were paid, but no money actually transferred to their Square. So it doesn't seem to be an issue with like the chip reader or with, I think, tapping with your card. I think it was some program on those thieves' phones, but it was definitely like on my mind last night, where you like to think anybody that's going to come to an event like that, like an artisan market, whatever, isn't gonna do that, but you never know. So a heads up. I don't know if any of that's been resolved. I don't know how you resolve that, but just fair warning to anybody that takes tap payment. There's like something weird going on. But yeah, my deposit for the second half of my amount that I earned after 7 p.m. last night should be coming in either later today or tomorrow. Like, as long as it's coming, I just don't want to have to like fight for the money that I was paid. You know what I mean? Where I know they take service, like processing fees. So I know I'm not getting the full total anyway, but that's like a couple dollars less, not almost $100 less. So, not how I want to start my morning. And honestly, I might just go back to bed and snuggle Bert for a bit because it's a little after 9 right now. I don't feel great. I'm not surprised by that. Like, my brain isn't in a great space. I'm still very sleepy. I did not sleep much throughout the night because Bert was restless. He's an old guy. He's having a tough time. So that's what happens when your dog is 16 and change. But he seems all right now. It's just he doesn't stay settled for very long. So he got old bones. On that note, I am actually gonna fuck off now, and I will see you back here in 2 Fridays with another video. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Let's see if lighting him from this side is helpful. I know, too far in. He's just a little guy. I would die for him.